Well, guys, I am so excited. Our very first viewer submitted story is a based on true encounter story with a picture. Check this out, guys. So this gentleman sent his story in, did a very good job writing it up, and I'm just going to read it to you. What you can see circled there is what he believes to be a Bigfoot, and we'll get into the details here in just a minute, but I just wanted to say I really appreciate him sending this story in, because this is just so awesome to have a story like this along with a photograph. So here we go. All right, let's do this again. And I can say again because this is our second story. Growing up in Tennessee, my older brother would read outdoor life stories to me at night. We would live those adventures of others hunting the wide open western states and dream of our own adventures. My brother would venture west before I would have the opportunity to go. It was on these first trips to northwestern Colorado that he would return with stories. The kind of stories you whisper about, the kind that are often not shared but kept close to the chest. The fall of 1999, my brother, nephew, and two extended family members were elk hunting 26 miles north of Hayden, Colorado. About 2 a.m. on the second day of second rifle season, they were awakened by loud vocalizations in and near camp and the pounding of wood on trees. It was loud and clear enough to wake the four up out of a sound sleep. We took it as locals trying to run or chase the Flatlanders away from their hunting territory. However, to my brother, it was nothing like that at all. In his eyes, it hinted of something more, but it remained unspoken. In the fall of 2005, a large group of us Tennessee boys would make the trek back to elk country. My brother always liked to push the envelope, hiking as far into the backcountry as he could get, off the beaten path and as far away from other hunters as possible. Barry's tactic had proven successful, having taken several trophies over the years. That fall, we rose early for the long hike over the backside of Saddle Mountain, then north toward Grizzly Park. A light skiff of snow had salted the ground above 8,500 feet, and just as the first morning light broke through the dark timber, the trail opened and sunlight was casting down where two trails met. There, in the snow, were several bare footprints, human-like. They were not of the large proportions of the size or association of the extra-large casting of the legendary Bigfoot. However, they were well defined and traveled in a southwest direction on a heading toward the backside of Sugarloaf Mountain. Still, I was not a believer. You just got to know the people I hunt with. They will go to extremes to pull one over on you. So I snapped a few pictures and we were on our way. The prints in the snow stayed with me throughout the day. Later in the afternoon, my brother and I would learn most of our hunting group had stayed in camp, and the others had hunted 5 miles south of our location. The temperatures were around 27 to 30 degrees, and I wondered who would go to such lengths as to walk barefoot in the snow. Over the years of hunting Colorado, I have learned it's best to spend your free time glassing. The use of binoculars in the evening or a spotting scope late in the evening searching for movement. I have taken game in both the morning and afternoon, but prefer the early morning as opposed to the latter part of the day. I have not missed a season since 2006. Over the years, I have upgraded my equipment and now carry a smartphone and a phone scope adapter with me everywhere I go. In 2018, I set up in the evening with a spotting scope and my smartphone attached to it. I had ran my shutter remote down and was relying on manual shutter. I had been watching trails that crossed the high meadows and the edges of dark timber for the signs of mule deer or elk. Some of the locations were 2 miles away that I was spotting or scoping. A small 4x4 mule deer caught my attention just as the sun began its descent for the evening. Then, far to the left, I caught movement. I thought it was an elk, and I could tell the object was moving fast, so I tried to focus for a shot. The image is blurred, but what I saw through my binoculars made me shake. The object was moving at a very quick pace and crossed an area in just seconds that it would take me several minutes to maneuver. The span of time I witnessed was under 15 seconds and it was gone. It was not an elk or deer or bear, and it walked upright and made long strides right at the moment the sun slipped the edges of the horizon. I have hunted all my life, but never have I seen anything like what I saw that afternoon. I would stay at that location till black dark, glassing, but would not spot anything else. I would return several evenings at the same time and place, never seeing a sign of the animal again. I kept this to myself for a day, looking at the picture, trying to clean up the image. I shared this picture only with family. However, the thought of it still lingering in my mind as yet another elk season approaches. If I find myself on the ridge or the path, should I grab my camera or my weapon? Should I steady for the shot or the capture? I would settle for a clear picture any day. I will venture to Colorado as long as I'm able and hope that my son will carry on the quest of elk hunting long after I have left this earth. I have never really been a believer until I saw one. Now I will spend my free time glassing for deer, elk, and Bigfoot, making sure my remote shutter is charged for the opportunity of the picture of a lifetime. Wow, guys, that was an amazing story. Makes your hair stand on end. I would love to spot one like that myself, from about 2 miles away, mind you, through a spotting scope. Look at this picture though. So he told me that after he had spotted and taken this picture, at some point later, he was able to get a good idea on the measurement of those trees, and he estimated them to be between 15 and 20 feet tall. So that kind of gives you an idea of the height of the blurry figure that he was able to get a picture of as it was moving across that clearing with the aspens behind it. That's pretty amazing. Really, really awesome picture. Once again, thank you for sending that in. Now, I do want to remind everybody this channel is not about proving or disproving Bigfoot, dogmen, any other type of cryptid at all. It is strictly about the story and the pictures that go with the story. So if you have a story and you have a picture that goes with it, that's even better. Be glad to get it put up on this channel. You can stay anonymous if you'd like to. If not, I'll be glad to put your name out there. Feel free to ask any questions you would like in the comments below, and if the writer of the story recognizes his story on here and would like to answer those comments, he's welcome to do so. Once again, thank you, and look forward to the next story. By the way, we have another story already, and it's a Tennessee boy that ran across what he believes could be a Bigfoot in Washington. So y'all stay tuned for that story coming up next. As I'm sitting here by the fire, I'm listening to the crickets and the cicadas. Maybe you can hear them as well. And I'm remembering back in my early childhood when my mom would either read or tell me stories. And that's probably where my love of a good story came from. And it's not whether the story is true or fiction, it's just about the quality of the story. It's about telling your story. It's about listening to a good story. So that's what this channel is dedicated to. And in particular, cryptids, Bigfoot, dogmen, things of that nature. If you have a story that you would like to tell, that you would like to hear told on this channel, send it to my email address. Send it to campfirecryptids@gmail.com. That's firecryptids @gmail.com. And I will do my best to get your story told. And if you want to stay anonymous, that's okay. Not a problem at all. Like I said, this channel is just simply dedicated to good stories. So send them in.